switching over to number 2 of the 3 motors, making 2 out of 3. This is the 1970 6-horse Evinrude, which I had for many years in storage. It came from the scrapyard just the way you see it. It's missing a prop. You can see down below there's no prop. The shifter is stuck. The typical things that you go through. I'm going to try to free this up first. The back latch is stuck for the cover. That's an easy fix. You just heat it up. I got all my tools ready, my flywheel puller. There is a note on here, March of 2008, when I took a look at it, and it has no spark. So it's just, like I said before, you clean the points. So I'm going to go over the motor. The main thing is get spark back right away and get it started. This pull starter works. Just needs a little bit of WD-40. And the till is stuck too, so I have to free up that too. Most of the times it's just a matter of heat. I'm going to try to fix the gear shifter after I pull the flywheel off, and I'll tell you what I did instead of just watching me do it. It's not as boring for you. So okay, so let me pull the flywheel, try to free the shifter up, and I'm going to try some heat in the back with the latch. Now that back latch for the hood is metal, so you can put heat underneath it. Later on they went to plastic, so you really got to be careful with the heat. Can't really do it too well. And I'll take it from there. Okay, 1970 Evinrude, number 2 of 3, coming back to life. Okay. Okay, step 1. Hopefully there's enough air in my compressor. I'm using my portable compressor outside on my patio, so I might have to go back and plug it in. I have an outlet over there. But let's see if it pulls the enough oomph here to pull the flywheel. Make sure you go the right way. Again, I got about a 1/2 inch of threads on each of the 3 bolts inside the flywheel. You don't want to pull the threads out. No, I gotta go plug in my compressor. Hold on a second. All right, let's see if it comes off now. Go. Again, most times they'll come off. Sometimes you gotta put just a little heat in here. And it looks like we got some decent coils again. Not new like the last one, but they look like somewhere in the mid-60s or the late 60s, they went to a different insulation epoxy on the coils. So this has that. So I'm gonna take the points out. You've seen me do that in previous videos. I polished them with my Rolock. This is for you folks who haven't. This is a 3M 3-inch fine blue disc. Luckily I have many for my old job. I did try a little bit to free the gear shifter up, so no luck yet. I don't want to break it. If you have to put heat on it, just make sure you put the vice grip in, not on the very edge where it's thin. It'll break right off. You want to grab it inside as much as you can where it's solid. So, and then I'm gonna do the latch in the back, same thing, and take it from there. So here you can see where I grab. I'm going to try to get this shifter working, because I like to get that out of the way, just so I know I don't break the handle off and got to deal with that. This one I don't have to pull the power head. The prop shaft turns below. It's in neutral. This is in the neutral position, so I'm assuming the linkage is good with the connector below, down in the gear case. But here's where you want to put the heat, and I mean a lot of it. And try to keep the nozzle away from the rubber mount here. You want to keep it up and just let it get hot. I mean hot. Now I'm using a MAP gas torch, so see the whole area there. these actually are pretty open. Some of the other motors, like the 10s and the 18s and the 25s, are not as exposed as this. Again, I always like to free these up. And don't break the handle. $150 for NOS, and in between $50 and $75 and $85 for a used one on eBay. So you want to avoid that if you can, at least I do. I doubt that's enough. That's just the beginning. Well, let's try it. Now I reposition the motor to make it a little bit easier to get to that spot. Nope, gonna heat it more, and then I'll get back to you. Again, I don't want to bore you watching me heat this thing. And by the way, it's a beautiful day here. 60-something degrees. I'll take it. Beautiful out. I'm in short sleeve shirt. Okay? So I'm enjoying it while I can. You can see leaves are starting to fall too all over. Okay? All right, to the next clip. So with about 5 more minutes of heating it religiously off camera, I went like this. She's starting to move. Again, you want to grab it. You want to grab it on the end. You'll snap that thing off like a pretzel. You want to grab it on towards where it goes into the midsection. Now what I got to do, it's kind of like, it's stuck still in neutral, but we got movement. I got to turn the flywheel a little bit to move the clutch dog and everything below to get it to shift. So we'll try that. You got to remove the puller first. Let me do that and I'll show you. After reheating it a few more times off camera, the handle's hot, so I got to use a rag. But now she shifts. You could, if you wanted to be a little bit more ambitious, you could take the power head off, unscrew the little linkage inside, pull it out, and really do it that way. That's really the proper way to do it. Because sometimes when it cools down, it'll get really stiff again, but we'll see. I'm going to monitor it. Hopefully I won't have to take the power head off. I mean, the shift's pretty good. And I did spray a little WD-40 in there. Again, I just remind you, when you come in with a torch, you got a Lord mount right here. You don't want to heat this up at all because it's vulcanized. It'll come apart and break. You want to go up with the heat and stay off the rubber mount. You can put some tin foil in there or a piece of sheet metal or something to deflect the heat away from the rubber mount. Just another one of my little tips. I'm trying to be realistic here on what it takes to fix these when you get them. Again, this one is nowhere near as worse, and I'm knocking on wood as the 75.6 I just did. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to free this up. Same thing. These are metal. Later on, they went to plastic, so you can't use a torch underneath. But this one has a metal one, so I'm going to take the torch from underneath here and heat it up really good and free that up carefully with a vice grip on here too. You don't want to break that because they break easy. The less you break, the less you got to replace. That's my philosophy, and I like to live by it because I'm cheap. Okay. This with about 2 minutes of heat, free right up. Easy to heat from underneath, and you can even heat these from on top too if you get a really stubborn one. Just move the spark plug wires out of the way. So, but this is free too. So, 10 minutes of work. What have I done? I removed the flywheel. I fixed the gear shifter. I fixed the latch. And I also went to my parts motor, which you saw in a previous video. The other 75 that was a trade-in with the broken lower pan. I got the prop, bullet, cotter pin, and everything to put on here. So that's how it works. You know, shuffling parts around when you have the parts, it really helps. But the basic thing is, if you get one of these motors, try to make sure it's complete. Make sure all the parts are there. Then at least you have everything, and then you just got to fix what's stuck, polish the points, rebuild the carburetor, replace the water pump, maybe a lower unit seal or whatever. But anyway, so now I'm going to go back to the points now and remove them, polish them, and put them back in, and it should be ready to kick over. Might have to get into the carburetor. We'll see. Moving along. Here I got a little sidetracked from doing the points, but that's okay. There's no real order, really. Well, actually, there is an order, but I got sidetracked. The till is stuck. As you can see, I turn the grip, and the gear moves here. It's a little tight, but it's not bad. But these are notorious to get stuck, these gears here, because the salt water splashes underneath here, and it's a close tolerance. Now, also, the magneto moves. You can see my thumb, so I know the magneto's not stuck. So the problem is in here. So I'm going to heat this up. This I'll try to do on camera real quick so you can see. And maybe it'll free up right before our eyes. We'll see. I mean, you got to get it really hot. And you're in a safe area. There's no rubber around here. The mount's about 2 inches away. So just heat the outside of this really good. And look at that. Few minutes of heat. Folks, that's all it takes. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Because the motors, they sit so long and from just not being used. A lot of times, it's just quick fixes. Again, you could take this all apart too if you wanted to and really do it, take it apart and really clean it up really well. But if it frees up like that, I'm not going to take it apart. It's not necessary for me. Again, I do a lot of motors. So I freed up three things: the gear shift lever, the back handle for the cover, and the twist grip, probably in 20 minutes. Freed all that up. The only other thing I did notice is the choke handle. The T part is missing. It broke off, so I got to replace the choke handle. But back on the points. And then I'm going to try to start it and see what happens. I'm excited. Okay. Well, for you folks that haven't seen me clean points, I'll do it even again. This is how I do it. A couple light passes to clean the oxidation off. And if it's not pitted, put them back in. If you got pits, then I would change them. Usually a pit in the center. So far these are looking pretty good. So, I'm in the camera focus here. The sun glaring in my eyes. This one has a little pit, but we can get away with it. All right, so that's how I clean the points. Now I'll put them back in, and I'm going to try to start this motor after about a half hour's worth of work. So let's see. Keep our fingers crossed. Ouch, 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 ouch. Doing the gaps. On top of the cam, there's a TOP. It says top. I just kind of pretty much between the T and the 0, line it up and just set the points to 20 thousandths. Pretty simple. And before I put the points in, another reminder too, the wave washers are underneath the screws that holds the points down. That's how it's supposed to be. There's a wave washer that goes underneath each screw. A lot of times people do points and I'll find a wave washer on a condenser. That uses an external tooth lock washer. And I'll find that holding the points down. It's not a big deal, but the wave washer holds the points down, not the condenser. Okay, so now I'm going to hook up the screws, the small screws, put the little clips on, and I couldn't find my scribe, so I used a sewing machine needle to get these clips off with a magnet right next to it so they don't go flying. And then I put them back on with a needle nose real carefully. And I'm going to button this thing up and try to start it again. Let's see. Okay. Putting the points back in, gapping them, putting the flywheel nut back on. We got spark, both cylinders. I don't know if you could see it or not, but Can't see it on camera. Both of them are sparking good. So these are the plugs from the other motor. So I'm not going to use these to try to start it. I'm going to go get another set of plugs. So I'll see if this thing starts. And I'm assuming the fuel pump's not going to work, but we'll see. Like I said before, it's 50-50 with them. Sometimes they come back. Okay, so I got my gas hooked up. I put a set of spark plugs in, another set of NGKs, and this is going to be the first time to see if it starts. I pumped up the fuel, no gas leaks this time. I'm not sure if the fuel went into the carburetor properly, if the needle is stuck, but we'll see. I didn't change the choke handle, so I'm just going to do it manually from inside. I got it on choke. Start, and let's see if it starts. Second pull, kicked. Here we go. Push the choke in. Let me see. Let me see if the fuel's pumped up. So there's not getting enough fuel in there. Let me go get some starting fluid just to nurse it a little bit. Hold on. Okay, let's try some starting fluid. No choke. Starting fluid. But this way, if this gas is not getting through the carburetor in the bottom bowl, this will bypass everything. A couple good squirts. Let's see. Got the throttle between start and fast. We'll see. Oops, in gear, which is not good. Let's try it again. Okay, so she's not getting any fuel. So I'm assuming it's the carburetor. So I'm gonna take the carburetor off. And, well, actually I'm gonna take the plug out on the lower bowl and see if any fuel comes out. Let's see.